So I was walking around Walmart and I saw this lady in yoga pants. I didn't think nothing of it. I kept walking and I see another one. I thought, wait a minute. Isn't it supposed to be cold outside? Why the hell are these women wearing yoga pants? That's not freezing. It reminded me of those late teen, early 20-year-olds who would walk around wearing Daisy Dukes when it was 20 below outside, trying to catch a man, you know. And their friends are like, "You gonna freeze to death, girl." And she's like, "I might freeze to death, but girl, you know I look good." Now, I'm telling you that story to tell you this one. A lot of times when I'm at work, which is at Walmart, I'm trying to write stand-up comedy in my head, and whenever I catch on to something that I think might be funny, I'll repeat it over and over again to myself to commit it to memory. And a lot of times I get so into what I'm repeating and how I want to say it and practicing this way and that way, and that I'll start saying it out loud involuntarily. And so one point I was walking out of the men's room and just out of nowhere I did, "Girl, you know I look good." And there was this elderly old woman standing right there, like I looked right at her. And she was reading a greeting card and she just kind of looked at the card and does. It's like, I looked at her for a second. I was like, should I explain this? How would I explain this? And I thought, I don't need to explain anything because I do look good. And I just turned around and I kept on walking. My dad was on a lot of medication when I was growing up. Talking about morphine and Demerol and really powerful medications. And there was one time whenever I was about 5 years old and I was laying in bed trying to go to sleep at night, and I hear doom 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 doom, like somebody walking down the hallway. Then I hear and somebody coming back. Doom 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 doom. Door closes. And I didn't find out until years later. What happened was my dad was in the living room and all of a sudden he starts hallucinating that the roof is about to fall on top of us. So he gets up and he hauls down the hallway to the master bedroom where my mom is sleeping like a peaceful little angel. And he gets on his side of the bed, leans over, put his head next to hers and goes, "The roof!" and pushes her off the bed and she goes flying, doom, onto the ground. Then he turns around and hauls ass back down the hallway, thinking, I guess to himself, screw the kids, I've done what I can. And he gets in the car and drives away. Now, I didn't realize all this went on because I was trying to go to sleep, like I said, and by the time I got up in the morning, he was sitting there at the table eating Cheerios. Now, my mom's reaction to all of it, because she was always one of those people who tried to look at the positive and everything. So her deal was, oh, he was so gallant. I mean, he risked his life from his point of view. He risked his life to run down that hallway and push me out of that bed so the roof would hit the bed instead of me. And so strong. Who would have thought he would be strong enough to push me out of that bed? Because she always saw herself as a bigger person, even though she never really was, and still isn't. Like, her biggest fear her entire life to this day is that people won't be able to lift her casket at her funeral. Even to the point that she'll try to recruit people. For example, we were at Lowe's one time. I was a kid, and there was this guy. He went and he picked up this workbench and put it on a cart. And my mom walks over to him and says, "Hi, what's your name?" "Jason." "Jason, you know, that workbench must weigh at least 100 pounds. You must be very strong. How would you like to come to my funeral? I would love for you to be able to carry the casket for me." Now think of that. That's a true story. Now think about that from this other guy's point of view. He's going home and telling his significant other, "I just had the strangest pickup line I have ever heard.